for parenting tips, celebrity interviews, recipes, conversations with experts, DIYs, and lots more. Subscribe to Kids Talk Press now.
He goes and he hugs his nanny and says, "Nani, fuck!" Up to the shit that you have gone through, how much of shit and fuck I have said, I'm so sorry, but I'm a nice person.
Tahira, getting straight to dive in, loved the book. How did you do it? And tell us for everybody who's not read the book, tell us all about the book.
I think it was in a moment of insanity and being stupid or highly courageous that I wrote this book. You would agree with me. Like a lot of people have actually questioned me, what were you doing? What were you thinking when you wrote about all this? But like I said, I am a very unfiltered person, Mansi, and we are interacting. We've interacted many times before and again, but that's how I come across, and it's just like I opened my heart into my book, which has got a lot of humor, a lot of blasphemy, a lot of sex, and why not? It's basically I have tried to humanize mothers who are kept at this pedestal of perfection, of holier than thou and all of that, which is so pious and beautiful. I mean, we could be all of that, but there's so much more to us, and we could be equally wanting of so many desires that we have, so many wants that we have. So I have tried to, perhaps in my own way, ease out the pressure in the most fun, quirky way. That's how I love to write. And yeah, there's a whole lot of bathroom stories and bedroom stories also, like I said, moment of insanity. But it has made it to the book. You guys can go have fun at my cost, is what I can say.
I've had full, if I was to say it in like a filmy style, I've had full paisa vasool for both your books. It is like fully paisa vasool because you have literally, you really have no filter, yeah, but it's a lot of fun to read. And I must say that both the books, aisa hi laga that, you feel like it was somewhere me in that moment. I don't know why, but it was really very endearing. Tell me, in the book you said proving to be the worst mother. Like, sachi mein you thought that you will be the worst mother? Ke, matlab, did you think of what were your perceptions of अच्छा ये bucket अच्छी माँ का है, ये bucket not so good mother, और मैं इसी में fit होंगी?
I just feel there are no more boxes for bad moms, So I just thought in my own head and in my own learning of many things and of motherhood especially, I realized that there is a generic box. Ek to women are as it is, put in boxes, and when it comes to mothers, the compartment is further, it's further sort of constricted, and it's very rigid. And so based on my ancestors, based on my mother's learning, based on the lovely, interesting books that I read, how to be a perfect mom, how to feed, how to do this and how to do that, I had so much going on in my head, and my real life was anything but that. I was not calm. No matter how much I would meditate, I would still feel like screaming. I thought I'm losing out on life. I'm losing out on time. Where are my career goals? Why am the only one responsible for a whole lot of things? Why are the expectations from me? Why isn't my birth normal birth because it was not vaginal? So all these things, I think it just added up, and that box, I just was outside of that box. And so I thought that maybe that's being a bad mother. That's why I said I thought I'm the worst mother. But I realized being outside the box means creating your own box and creating your own journey. And all of us have done that. And it's about, I don't think there is anything known as a bad mother. So I have sort of told that in my chapter because I felt that way. And like I also mentioned that like how any other Indian girl would probably think, anything that gives her happiness, she feels guilty about it. And I was no different. So anything that would give me pleasure, give me happiness, usi waqt, shit, am I doing the right thing? Where's my child? Where's the baby monitor? Where's this? Whether I'm on the treadmill, whether I'm trying to make a pitch, whether I'm trying to work, or even I'm breastfeeding, I was just, or not breastfeeding, or on a top feed, I was just guilty all the time. And I did not communicate much. But later on, I realized once I opened up my life for myself, I realized that this is a feeling which is not oblivious to a whole lot of mothers, you know. So we go through all kinds of shit. It's about owning your shit and putting your shit on a pedestal. ये मेरा shit है, ये बहुत सही shit है. तुम बाहर में जाओ. So
100%, dude, 100%. I always, and we always say this on Kid Stop Press, right? You are the best mother your child can ever have, and you define what that best is, right? Because, like you said, you created your own box, which is exactly how it should be.
yeah.
And tell me, in a world full of comparisons, right, where you are, मतलब हम खुद अपने आप को, like we're trying to perfect ourselves in many ways. How do you define perfect in terms of children, right? Because everybody wants to have this perfect child, and somewhere it stems from, am I perfect? Am I average? Am I above average? So when you are dealing with so many complexities, how do you take responsibility of two other people?
To creating a perfect child, oh my god, I'm far from it. I think me and my kids are the most blasphemous lots. I'm going to share a small incident. So, you know, when you're small, when the kids are just learning how to speak, they twist and they sort of turn words around. So if you've said, I can say stuff, right? Like, listen, there are a lot of women who probably, over their conversations, they might have used the word duck, muck, luck, or whatsoever, and the child then twists it around and makes it into a blasphemous word. But the mom that I am, I actually use that word, not knowing that my child is around, and he was obsessed with the word, and he just kept going fuck 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 fuck. Entire day he was like a duck who was just saying fuck. So, and then my mother, who was teaching, she was the head of the English department, so she came home and she's trying to embrace her only grandchild, and you know, she was expecting Shakespeare जैसे words निकलेंगे मेरे grand बच्चे के मुंह से, या फिर Wordsworth आएगा, but he goes and he hugs his nani and says, "Nani, fuck." So these are my children. I think he was about like 14, 15 months old. This is not to say that I'm a bad parent, I'm teaching cuss words, but I happened to speak to someone, and my son happened to hear it, and then he just multiplied. The word just multiplied. But I've also gone in to say how I reacted for the first time. I was angry, I was livid, I was blasphemous. And that little monster, it became a feeding mechanism for him. The more upset I was, the more he would repeat. And that's when my parenting skills kicked in. I understood my own relationship with my son. I was like, the more I react, he feels that this is something to play around with. And so my way of dealing was eventually become indifferent. And so then the word just, it just wore off. But that's the beauty about our journeys as mothers, or what I've written in the book. It's very individual. And there's so many books. This book is nothing to do with being the perfect mother, or how to feed, or how to do this, or how to do that. You've read it. It's not a guide at all. If at all, it's just owning up to the shit that you've gone through. How much of shit and fuck I've said, I'm so sorry. But I'm a nice person.
Yeah, guys, I can vouch for it. She's great. She only says words which your child should not use, like we all do. Yeah. We also, tell me, guilt is something that's, we all say as moms that we don't feel guilty. But there was a part where you were with your kids, but you were, and it's so normal, right? Like you mentioned earlier, that I was only thinking that why am I solely responsible? And then there was a phase where you were not solely responsible and you were going out to be yourself. Is it normal to compare in a marriage or in parenting, compare yourself with your partner and manage that guilt as well when you kind of are equal? Is it normal to compare with your partner?
I just wish we set a different precedent for the generations to come, and there was a different precedent set for us. And and in my home, I, very honestly speaking, I come from a very progressive, educated family, nuclear family. I always saw my parents working, both of them, middle class family. They both needed to work to make the ends meet, and to make enough, like I said in my previous book, to make it to once in a month to a film at a multiplex, and reward ourselves with a few dinners once or twice a month. So I've always seen my father bring in the vegetables and my mother sort of making so I've seen the roles very, very divided. but not 50-50%. It was
Yeah.
always skewed. And so I had these undue expectations of my mother, and I would actually compare her with the rest of the mothers, where everybody had perfect tiffins and everything coming in for them when they used to go to school, and I just probably had a banana or a toast or something, and that's enough to probably for a snack. But I was always in this comparison zone, and I was very unforgiving towards her. But later on, I realized that this is she wanted to do this, and she deserves to do this, and she's not answerable to anyone. The idea is to to have a happy home and have the roles divided. But yet, like I said, even though the roles were divided, it was skewed. So this was the precedent set for me. And so I very happily took on to many roles. And so the word that you used in the beginning of this introduction of the session was multitasking. And I really have a huge problem with the word multitasking, because I'm just so done with it, Mansi, कि मुझे वो खिताब चाहिए ही नहीं है, मुझे ये award चाहिए ही नहीं है multitasker का. I don't want anybody to appreciate me, call me evil, or call me this woman who doesn't like to do so many things, but I am okay with it. I do not consider being a multitasker as a compliment, because I end up doing 40 million other things, whereas the other gender, and I'm not particularly talking about my partner, I'm not talking about my relationship, I'm talking about a generic relationship in in a patriarchal society, where the men, they say, मैं इतना ही कर पाऊंगा, मैं बहुत focused हूँ, and then we appreciate him for just doing that one thing, and then we appreciate women for being multitaskers and not the other way around. So I think there are different and precedents which are set for us, and we need to change it. So I'm very vocal about things that I want to do. I can do many, but today I choose to sort of take a step back, and let other people in my household contribute. I haven't reached a 50-50%. Very honestly speaking, it's not 50-50%. It is still 80 and 20%, 70 and 30%, but I'm working towards it. And I really am working towards it. And I really want to make sure that the next generation sort of sees it as the roles are not gender specific. It should not be ये तो boys करते हैं और ये तो girls करते हैं, which is still there in our generation, I feel.
Yeah, 100%.
So yeah, like I would love for, like how we have this session with moms. I really, and it's so, you all are so popular. You all are doing such great job. It's almost cathartic and counseling at many levels for many followers. I really wish there's something like for dads too. Why aren't they such public forums, and why aren't fathers giving such interviews, and why isn't that happening?
Which is so amazing that you say that, because a lot of the dads on Kids Stop Press feel very left out, because a lot of the jokes are on moms. So we've kind of, we actually have tried to garner that. And I must say that when I interview a lot of the dads, the one question that I absolutely get sadistic pleasure asking is, so how do you strike the balance between work and life? I don't know.
Nice one.
I asked that
जॉब इंटरव्यू में आपको पूछा नहीं कि आपके घर पे बच्चा है, आपको उसको टेक केयर करना है. They never asked these questions.
Yeah. Okay, super. Cool. Thank you so much.
Thank you. So lovely speaking to you.